talk with me. Let's chill. Let's sip some Henny and discuss the events of the day, the sports trending topics. That Ninja, full disclosure, let me say that SEC is a better conference. I'm a fan, but I'm not delusional. Absolutely. We keep it real here. We do keep it real here. And the SEC is better than the Big Ten. I hate to say it, but it is true. Case closed. So we'll see what happens this year. And Bama boy, help me out, man. I believe Alabama opens up with another big game over in Dallas, Texas, at Cowboy Stadium again this year. I'll maybe take a look here, get that up on the monitor. If anybody knows about that game, definitely let me know about that, please. Oh, and by the way, got to welcome a couple new gents to the chat tonight. First off, our main man, Mr. Cedric Galloway. What's up, Big Ced is in the building. What's going on, sir? And along with Big Ced is my big brother-in-law. Geez, excuse me. One and only Jeff Pohl is up in the building, my brother-in-law from across the river. What's going on, sir? What is going down? There we go. Studio audience, you're a little late. Yeah, man. So as we were saying here, as I'm transitioning the stories on Sports Done Right, and I'm still kind of on my Texas time, people. You can kind of tell. I may be a little draggy tonight, man. Sipping some of that fine Texas backwoods whiskey, hanging with the First Lady, nice little trip to San Antonio. If anybody's been to San Antonio, tell me what you think, man, because the resort we were staying at, while very, very nice, let's just say wasn't in the nicest part of town. So that made for my jaunting off the resort a little suspect, and we were so far away from downtown and kind of, all the touristy stuff, the Alamo, Riverwalk, all that stuff. It was a major drive, man, just to deal with all that nonsense. So San Antonio, nice town, has some issues, but we move on. So, all right, man, let's get right to the point tonight. What do you guys think of the spouses and their uses of social media? Now, it's been, a couple weeks with the Aisha Curry tweets going out there. Miko Grimes even getting involved, throwing her 2 cents in, actually sounding sensible for a damn change. But what do you guys think, man? Does a spouse of an athlete have a right to express their opinion over social media? Does that, as we found out with Brent Grimes and Miko, does that then have a right to it possibly impact if a player gets signed? Because the organization don't want to deal with it. What do you guys think? Now, we'll talk about Aisha Curry in a second. Let's let's talk about Miko and Brent Grimes for a minute. Now, as you remember, Brent Grimes played for the Dolphins. His wonderful, lovely wife, Miko, who, hey, Miko ride or die, okay? Miko is down with her man, and as a husband, I'm sure Brent felt you gotta love at least a woman that's standing up for her man. So hats off for that, first off. Okay, so, we look, as a man, and if we are married, we have a girlfriend, significant, whatever. When your woman's out there and she stands up for you and she speaks up for you, that makes you feel good. So Brent Grimes, I'm sure, loving his wife for that now, but we're in a weird situation here because his job puts him in the public. we're talking free speech, we're talking this, we're talking that. In today's sports world, this is what plays, though, people. I had barely heard of Brent Grimes before the Miko Grimes stuff broke. And before I tell you what I think about it, let's get into our chat room here, and they're going to tell you what they think about it, because the chat's starting to go hot and heavy here. Again, Sports Done Right on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. My main man, Kesey, host of the Kicking In with Kesey show. I believe she has a right to her opinion, but when it's related to the game, fall back. She can say whatever she wants about other stuff, but nothing that would cause controversy. And a lot of people agree with Kesey. Grego says, I don't see Curtis Conway tweeting for Layla or Sheldon Williams tweeting on behalf of Candace. Very good point. Grego also says, why is it a big deal that someone named Brandon Ingram is getting a Duke starting 5 haircut? Okay. But this is real interesting, because here's the situation. Now, I forgot what game it was here. They were showing highlights of Ayesha Curry, maybe SportsCenter, whatever it was. Mama Curry out there. And Ninja got a good point here. I'm going to get to that point in just 1 second, Ninja. Thank you for tuning in, brother. But Mama Curry was in these stands, and she was acting a damn fool. Okay, and Mama Curry, fine, beautiful woman, Sonia Curry. I love kind of the spirit that she has. She seems to be the driving force, actually, in the family in terms of her kids' competitiveness. But, man, she was up here blowing kisses, spinning around, acting like she was a damn fool in Cleveland's house, just looking stupid. Daughter-in-law about to send a tweet out a little bit later. It's a fine line, man. If it's me, I would probably say, look, you're an adult. I would probably not prefer it if I'm a athlete and I got to do this and I'm in front of the public and I got to, start answering all these BS questions that come from this social media stuff, the Instagrams and the tweets and Facebooks and all this stuff. But I also want my woman to have the right to just kind of speak her mind. And if she is asked a question, look, she's an adult. It's a fine line you got to walk. That Ninja says anybody has the right to express their opinion. I think it's crazy to say that the media doesn't actually know the person are the only ones that have the right, but Mrs. Curry looked stupid when she was jealous of that pretty reporter that was interviewing her husband, and she came to the court to interfere with the interview. That was pathetic. And he is right on point, man. Right on point, Ninja. That's why y'all need to listen to Underground Railroad Show. Ninja will break down that sports media for you. But here's the point, and if you didn't see it, Steph Curry being interviewed by a very fetching female reporter, local female reporter, I believe. And no, Ayesha Curry had to come on down and just make it known that he's my man. Look, have confidence in your game. First off, Ayesha, have confidence in your game. You're a good-looking woman. He married you. You're doing something right. Fall back. As was just said, fall back. Let the man do his interview. Let the man do his job. Look, there are sexy reporters everywhere nowadays in sports media. She ain't the only one. Starting to show maybe some chinks in the armor there. Maybe she a little worried about something. Jungle Brother says, problem with social media is the media. Ayesha Curry sent those tweets to her followers, not ESPN. Media blow up her tweets like she called a press conference. They tweets should remain private to her followers. Yeah, Jungle, in a perfect world, you're right, of course. But as we know, this is not a perfect world. And those tweets, the problem is they do go to the followers, but then they get retweeted. And retweeted and retweeted again. And favored it, and before you know it, it's out there, man. It's wildfire. That's why, look, I'm 47. I come from the old school. I'm glad. Look, if I played pro sports, I would much rather have done it pre-2000 than dealing with all the stuff these guys got to deal with now. Denise says she should just not tweet certain things. A very good point there as well. Absolutely. Milk and cookies. But that's a conversation the Currys are going to have moving forward. And I'm sure they will. But there's other instances of this, man. Check. Did we not forget Derek Fisher, Matt Barnes? Remember Gloria Govan, the ex-wife. Fisher and Barnes had a fight over Govan earlier this year at Barnes' house that he's still paying for, as maybe some folks would like to remind the ex-wives. The NBA, they fined Barnes, plays with the Grizzlies, 2 game checks, and an additional $35,000 for statements made on social media. Fisher made claims that his firing from the Knicks had absolutely nothing to do with this particular incident. But they have no proof that it played a role in that decision. Who knows? But again, social media. Oh, no problem, Jungle. No problem, man. Spell check some mofo on this thing. I hear you, brother. I hear you, and thank you for listening. So we got that situation. Again, inflamed on social media. Barnes out there is tweeting. Fisher out there responding over a woman in public. Man up, y'all. And let's not forget the very lovely, very wonderful Gabrielle Union. Mrs. Dwayne Wade. Oh, yes, we remember her as well. She's been out there doing her thing. Gisele Bündchen. Oh, yeah, we see you, Miss Brady. Also, Draymond Green's mother's also been out there putting some stuff out there. Her name, Mary Babbers. So what do y'all think, man? That ninja says, imagine a man doing that to a woman and you'll realize how crazy it is. Denise says she clearly has self-esteem issues. I'm assuming talking about Ayesha Curry, if she's acting like that, which is totally embarrassing. It's a totally embarrassing distraction. Absolutely. Let your man go out there and do this 2-minute interview with a pretty young lady. Because guess what? There's going to be another pretty reporter and another pretty reporter after that. You live in California. Grego says she's from Toronto. Drake, the only other person I know from Toronto, and he's just as emotional as Ayesha. They have to attack. Could be cultural. Cultural. Right on, Grego. She needs to get her mind right. That's what the lovely Denise Milk and Cookies has to say here on Sports Done Right. But, these women are active on their social media accounts. Now, they can be examples to people, be engaging. But Union and Bündchen in particular can afford to be vocal because their husbands' jobs are very secure. And that's what Miko Grimes was talking about and I got to give Miko props when she stepped into the tweet situation with Ayesha and said, look, girl, your man has got money. Your man has got endorsements. Ease up. Leave this to us that got it covered down here at a little lower level than you do. Ease up, Ayesha. Because you're going to mess up your man's endorsements, possibly. You're going to get it. You're going to take money out the pocket instead of keeping more money in the pocket. Grego says he thinks it was a joke. Who knows?